So here, solving the equation for x. So I have 2x plus 20 equals 100 plus 4x. Okay, remember, the way that I do this, there's different ways you could do this, but the way that I like to do them is like I like to bring the variables over here. So this plus 4x is a like term with this 2x. So I'm going to take the inverse of plus 4x, and I'm going to move it over here. So the inverse of plus 4x is minus 4x. Some of y'all are still forgetting to put the x with it. Don't take the x off of it. You have to leave the x there, okay? Because we're getting confused on where it goes. So if I have it here with this x, I have to put it underneath this one. It can't go here because there's no x attached to it. It can't go here because there's no x attached to that either. So now, let's make my line. Okay, 2x minus 4x is negative 2x plus 20 comes down equals 100. Now this z's out, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, so what I have next, I'm gonna circle this in red. I have negative 2x. Now I look at all the terms I have, plus 20 and 100. So like this right here and this 100, they're like terms, okay, which means they're the same. This negative 2x has nothing to do with these because there's no x attached to it. This is by itself, which is what I want. I want it to be by itself. So the inverse of plus 20, I have to get that to put it over here. So the inverse of plus 20 is minus 20. Minus 20, minus 20. Okay, I draw my line. This negative 2x comes down, minus 2x. This is going to z out, equals, and 100 minus 20 is 80. Now, once I'm here to my last step, I can just divide by the coefficient that's in front of the variable. So divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. This makes 1, x equals, and then 80 divided by 2 is my last step. So that's going to be negative 40. That's my answer. Okay, number 7 is just like number 1. Okay, using the graph, what is the slope and the y-intercept of this function? Okay, so this glare here, it's not going to affect though what I'm looking at here. So slope is m. Remember that stands for slope, and the y-intercept is b. M, b. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is find my slope. I have my 2 points here. Okay. There's a point there, and there's a point there. So what I got to do is from this point, find out if I go up or down. It's pretty obvious. I'm going down to get to this point. So if I go down, that means my slope is negative. Okay. I need to find out what my numerator is going to be. So we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Goes down 6. So 6 is going to be my numerator. And then it goes over 1, 2. Goes over 2. So 2 is going to be my denominator. So negative 6 over 2. I simplify that. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So negative 3 is my slope. All right, so now my y-intercept, I just got to find out where it crosses this line at. Where does it cross this at? This line crosses right here. So this point, easy, I just look for the number. It's going to be 1, so the slope is 1. Again, you can put plus 1, but you don't have to. Okay, there's my slope, and there's my y-intercept. That's all this question asks for. It doesn't ask to write in an equation form, y equals form. You just got to look for those 2 things. Right in there. All right, so number 8, okay? Number 8 is very simple, very easy. First of all, read the question, okay? Because what you might do is look at this graph and be like, oh, I need to find the slope and the y-intercept. Well, let's read the question. Make sure you read it. What is the y-intercept of the graph? So the only thing I'm looking for is the y-intercept, or the b, right? B is what it stands for. So b Instead of writing out y-intercept, you can just put a lowercase b. It stands for the same thing. So all I need to do is look at my graph here, okay? So this looks different than the other graph. It doesn't look like this, okay? With the 4 quadrants. So this is really just this first quadrant right here. See, so that's what it really is. So what I need to do is find out where this crosses that line. So where does it cross this line at? It starts out right here. So I mean, that's where it crosses. It would cross there. So my y-intercept is 10. Very simple. That's it. That's all I gotta do on that one. Not a lot of work. Okay, so number 9 says, does the table below represent a function? So does this table represent a function? A lot of y'all, I saw that were answering this during class when we had time to work. Y'all saw this already. Y'all had a really good understanding of the tables. The input is the same thing as my x values. Output is the same thing as my y values. So what I just need to do is look here, okay? A lot of y'all saw that these 4s repeat, so that means it's not a function. So represent a function, no. Okay, if you put not a function, that's okay too. Because these x values repeat. See, 4 goes to 0. 4 also goes to 1. It can't go to more than one y value. Easy. Okay, last question. It says the Earth has a diameter of 7,926 and 41 hundredths miles. What is the circumference of the Earth? So circumference, if you don't know how to find the circumference, okay, then like look it up, Google it, okay, or look it up, how to find circumference. Remember, circumference is the distance around a circle. The distance around it, okay? Kind of like the perimeter of a square, but circumference is for circles. We're looking for the distance around. So look it up. We have the formula charts. You use the formula charts to find circumference, okay? There are 2 formulas for circumference. Circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius, okay? Or pi times the diameter, okay? Since we're given diameter in this question, on the question here, it gives me the diameter, I'm going to use this formula, okay? So I'm not going to use that one, so don't worry about that, okay? So there's the formula I'm going to use, pi times diameter. So I just plug in, I know what pi is going to be, 3.14, or if you use the pi button on our calculator, that's okay. And then times the diameter that was given to me in the question. 7, 9, 2, 6. I use the parentheses. Remember, parentheses means the same thing as multiplying. So like in our calculators that we have, all you have to do is put this in. You don't put C equals in there, okay? If you're using a calculator at home, all you do is multiply these 2 numbers. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I'll do that at the same time. Okay, you will get a circumference of 24,888.9. And this is in miles, okay? So we'll just put miles there. Diameter, this is the circumference. Remember, C equals pi times diameter. So anything around here will be fine, okay? If you use the pi button on our calculators, you're gonna get something a little bit different, but it's not gonna be that far off. All right, so that's homework 11.